Happy day, everyone. Grand Rising. It's still before noon, I think. Certainly somewhere in the world. So happy day. Hope everyone's doing well. This might be a little longer than normal today, so bear with me. Usually I just have a couple of things on my mind, but today I have a little bit more on my mind. I guess it's a culmination of a really powerful week and lots of satisfaction coming in, which is my language because I'm a manifesting generator. And so satisfaction is my thing. And I'm feeling a lot of that today. So last Sunday, I participated in a sacred circle with some friends of mine, and we had a really phenomenal time together and chose to intend upon some powerful things for the coming week ahead. And one of our homework assignments was to watch for synchronicities through the week that brought us back to that event, and boy did I have a bazillion of them. And it's just been a beautiful week despite how busy or packed it is. It was still really fun and unfolded with ease and flow. And so I'm in a really great place today, and so I want to give back a little bit. So life should be pleasurable, and when it's pleasurable and we have joy, we can give back. And so I'm feeling it today. So I'm going to give back a little bit. And I want to start by talking about the theme of today is going to be focus. And as you know, I'm not as reality-based or scientific-minded as some of my friends are when it comes to talking about focus, right? So what I want to talk about is focus in our energetic, heart, spiritual, and emotional realms. Having that focus to move through our life and to keep our eye on the ball, right? So if you've ever played sports, you've had a coach or a parent that's like, keep your eye on the ball. What happens when you don't keep your eye on the ball? The ball hits you in the face. The ball rolls right by you. You miss the ball, right? So keeping our eye on the ball, that's the objective for all people, no matter what your belief system or your upbringing or whatever. Focus is key, right? So whether you have a cold, hard goal in mind that you want to use very masculine energy to achieve, work hard, have discipline, fight for it, you got to keep your eye on the ball. Or whether you're coming from a very feminine flow of manifestation and grace and ease and just moving into it, still, you've got to stay focused. And oftentimes, we get off focus. It's so easy today to get out of our focus, right? First of all, you were programmed your first 7 years with no input of your own. Other people downloaded into you what your thoughts, beliefs, and actions were going to mostly be until you chose to change them. So you're kind of stuck in that. That's your go-to subconscious where you revert to. And so that can be distracting in the world. The news, social media. Even when I go onto my phone, I tell Jonathan all the time, oh, I accidentally saw this news headline about blah, 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 because even when I go into my phone, even though I don't follow any of that, even though I don't get those emails, even though I don't get those texts, still I'll accidentally move my finger wrong and headlines will be on my screen, right? So unless you're a hermit, totally unplugged from technology in the world, you're going to be exposed to influences outside of yourself. You're going to be bumping into people and events and experiences outside of your own plan, outside of your manifestation, outside of your intention. It's just part of the human experience. It's why we're here. We came for this, right? It's what we're here for. So unless you want to just hide away, and I don't encourage that because there's not a lot of growth in that, although there can be healing and peace. So from time to time, it might be important to do. But unless you want to just hide away, I really encourage you to live it fully, bump into everybody, but learn to harness your focus. And yeah, it's a balance of masculine energy and feminine energy. It's part discipline, choice, action, but it's also part spirituality, emotion, belief, flow, what you choose to move into. So you can set your intention for your path and your goals and what you want to manifest, whether that be through hard work and, exerted physical energy, or whether that be through the magic of manifestation and calling on God or your angels and doing it in a very emotional, spiritual way. It doesn't matter. The pinnacle there is to set your intention, because when you're not setting an intention, you're not living in focus, what happens? You're like a pinball bouncing around a pinball machine, right? You're in chaos. You're just going wherever the next flapper knocks you toward. You're bouncing off this scratchy person and banging into this lucky person and going into this news show and getting downloaded with all this information. And you're just bouncing around chaotically, right? So if you're not setting an intention, you're in chaos. And, you know, I often think of people like Einstein or Tesla or Darwin, you know, scientists, people who failed a million times. I love to think about that. I started off in science. I was very interested in science when I was younger, and that was my grounding for science facts. And so, you know, they tried and they tried and they tried and they tried and they tried, and they mostly failed. But when they succeeded, it wasn't typically in chaos. It was usually because they had set an intention, they had set a goal, and they kept focused on it. They knew where they were going. And even if they had a miraculous... my daughter's calling me. Even if they had a miraculous moment of, you know, something new, I can't think of the word. Even if they had a miraculous moment, they still had been on a path. They still had been moving toward a particular goal, right? So they stumbled upon what they stumbled upon because they were on a path. Think of an archaeologist. They were on a path, and they stumbled upon what they found because they were looking for it. Imagine that I'm sitting here in my office and I want to be an archaeologist. And all I do is daydream about being an archaeologist all day long. I just dream about it, and I want to have the biggest find ever. I want to find some dinosaur bone or some archaeological remnant from a kingdom long ago. And that's my dream. But if I don't take action on that dream, if I don't get out there in the field and set my attention toward that dream, how am I ever going to come upon discovering that? I've got to set my path, and I have to stay on it. So that leads me to what's real, what's truth. I see a lot of this in my feed. I see a lot of gurus who are like, there is no truth. The only truth is your truth in this moment in time. The only truth is what you're experiencing in this time. And then I have other friends who are like, oh no, there are actual science facts. So I did this science experiment, or so-and-so did it, and this fact came up, and it came up over and over and over again. So that has to be true. That has to be the truth, because it happened over and over and over again, when different people did it in different ways. But what we fail to acknowledge is that there are truths for people in the world that are wildly inexplicable, that are wildly hard to believe, that are wildly rare and seem impossible to us. So I shared something in our Facebook group, the wellness community, the other day about, what's his name, Conor McGregor, I think, the boxer. And so Conor McGregor, I'm not an expert on Conor McGregor by any means, but Conor McGregor was a boxer. He was just a street kid. He was just poor. He didn't have much, but he was determined to be a world champion boxer or MMA or whatever it is that he does. And he was hyper focused on that. He did the physical work, but he did the energy work. Conor McGregor can be quoted in multiple interviews repeating, I know who I am. I know what I am. It's not that I want something out there. It's that I am something. It's not that I want to be a world famous fighter. It's that I am a world famous fighter. And every single day, he took the action steps as a world famous fighter. And he still does. And so if you're a boxer or a fighter and you think, oh, I want to be world famous, you don't have a caveat. You don't have an if or a but or a whatever. You keep your eye on that ball, and you don't let your fear of being wrong stop you. You don't let your fear of being humiliated and losing stop you. You don't let the shame of a loss stop you. You don't let the embarrassment of not getting it perfect stop you. You don't let the rejection of people who don't believe in you stop you. You don't let your failures stop you. You know what you want. You know who you are. You claim it. I am this. And you move forward. And will some people that you maybe went to elementary school with or middle school or college or you worked your first corporate job with, are they going to look at you like you're crazy? For sure. Because if they're not, you're probably not doing it right. If you're just doing everything and ticking all the boxes to fit in to these boxes that other people have made for you, you aren't living your life. You're living a life they project upon you. They're the writers of your screenplay, writing the script, and you're their puppet. You've got to break out of that box and be who you are. Be who you came to be. Because you see, I believe that all of us came here on purpose. I believe that every single person, whether you believe you were planted here with a purpose or you just, have a purpose in the light in the world, it's not to be people's whipping boy. It is not to be somebody's do girl. It is not to be somebody who just serves others all the time. We are best when we are serving others in our unique gifts and talents. So if you are serving others and you are worn down, tired, feel abused, feel unappreciated, feel sad, depressed, anxious, but you're like, oh, but I'm of service because, Christ said serve, put yourself forth and serve. That's not what Christ meant. Christ didn't mean be a doormat. I remember when I was going through my first divorce, my husband had moved away. He had just left one day, and I was shaken. I thought I was going to be married forever, right? That was the plan. And I was really struggling, and I can remember looking through. My mom had one of those little, scripture a day books, and I would look through that, and I would find verses, and I can remember repeatedly reading these scriptures that basically said, you're not a doormat. You're not here to be miserable. You're not here to be the tool for someone else's greatness unless you're in spiritual harmony and partnership with that person and you're working together, right? And if you are, it's as fulfilling and beautiful to you as it is to them. So I'm not saying you have to be a world famous international superstar posting your selfies on your, $5 billion yacht and flying all over the world. I'm not saying that. You could be at complete peace and harmony in your homestead, quietly, thriving, with nobody knowing who you are. It's not about being a star or being a celebrity or being famous. It's about fulfilling the purpose of your heart. And how do you get there? By fully living into who you are with intention and breaking out of the chaos of living the role of other people's lives. So the first thing that you have to do is to know who you are. Who am I? What do I want? And that can be a big one. That can be a really tough one for a lot of people. Looking in the mirror and saying, who am I? That can be devastating, right? That can send you to the funny farm. That one can send you into anxiety, regret, depression, all kinds of, deep emotional places. That probably mean you have work to do there. You've got some stuff to work through in that space because you are somebody. And if you can't look at yourself and say, this is who I am, this is who I'm meant to be now, then you're probably going to have some heartache, and you're probably going to have to work through some stuff until you can figure that out. So that's step one, is looking at yourself and saying, who am I? And it doesn't have to be, what's my eulogy when I'm 95 or 180? It doesn't have to be, who am I every day for the rest of my life? It's, who are you today? Who am I today? Who do I want to be today? Do I want to be absolutely exhausted taking care of everyone else 100% of the time and never doing anything for myself? Do I want to never get to share my gifts and talents with the world? Is that who I am? Am I just an errand girl or boy for everyone else around me? Is that who I am? Am I just an employee of someone that I don't respect? Is that who I am? Who are you? And who are you really? Not whose life are you living out? Who's your puppeteer? Who are you? Once you know that, the work only begins, right? Because, again, all around you, you're going to find distraction. You're going to find heartache. You're going to find discouragement. You're going to find doubters. You're going to find naysayers. You're going to find people who are unsatisfied in their lives that are going to try to make you feel unsatisfied in your life. If they're not satisfied or successful or happy or at peace, then they're going to try to reflect that back to you to have some power. But you don't have to take that on. You can protect yourself from that. And you can do that energetically, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You can learn how to do all of those things. I'm happy to teach you those things. And I know there's plenty of resources about that as well, right? Next, you need some accountability. This is hard to do alone. It is hard to claim your birthright and to stay on that path every single day of your life by yourself. You need a community. This is why we created the two community groups, the wellness community and the holistic professionals community, so that people at least had somewhere to turn to ask for help, to look for resources, to find the next thing that they need, that they have this directory to look toward. But sometimes it's more personal than that. Sometimes you need a friend with a faithful, trusting ear that's not going to betray you and stab you in the back. And look, a lot of us have had that, right? We've had that friend who couldn't handle our boldness. We were too much, so they went and found less. Or before they did that, they stabbed us in the heart and then went on, right? And that we carry with us. And that is work we have to move through to heal and forgive. And even the greatest of us who work on these things all the time, they too have to continue to do that work through their lives. It doesn't end. It's a process, because the beauty of life is in the journey, not the end. If I just gave you everything that you ever put into your vortex, that you ever asked for in your whole life, if I just handed that all to you today and said, okay, you're done. This is what you get. You're not going to get anything else ever again. This is it. Go enjoy this. Want for nothing else. Have no more desires. You would very quickly become unsatisfied. And you would very quickly become depressed, because you would have nothing to look forward to. So it's not about having it all. It's about the journey of moving toward it all and experience it unfolding bit by bit by bit by bit, right? All right. So you need some protection. You need some accountability. And you have to take action. And for some of us, that's softer and more fluid. And for others, it requires a lot more masculine energy. I'm going through a season right now where I'm having to put a lot more masculine task mastering, because I've taken on a lot of responsibilities recently, and they're taking more of my time. And so I'm not just flowing through my life as I was 3 months ago. Things are faster, bigger, more accountable to others, and that means I have work to do. I have to work harder on myself to be more disciplined, to harness my willpower, which is not a natural strength for me. I am not a natural willpower kind of person. So if you're not either, then you've got to choose to use that willpower and discipline. You've got to choose to show up for it. You've got to choose to be consistent, persistent, accountable, and show up every day to keep your focus, keep your intention, stay protected, and be accountable for it. And that's why community is so important. Having a community of people, having a mentor, a coach, a partner, even if it's just somebody at your same level, to keep you going. So you don't just check out and veg out and Netflix binge for a week and not stick to your task list. I know for some of you, the task list you slay. For others of us, that is not our natural personality. And we have to massage that into who we are so that we can continue to take action. Because your dreams and your vision, just in your mind, without focus and action, are not going to take you where you want to be. So you want that next step, you want that next goal, you want that beautiful manifestation in your life, you have to focus. You've got to focus, protect, be accountable, and take action. And then here's the hard news, friends. Here's the one that nobody likes and nobody wants to hear about. You've got to detach yourself. You're going to have to detach yourself from some habits that suck. And you've got to detach yourself from some people that are like balls and chains pulling you down. Now, maybe you can't physically detach from certain responsibilities and people in your life. Maybe there's somebody that you're the caretaker for, and you can't just say, peace out, walk away. I've been on the receiving end of that, and it's not a pretty place for anybody involved. But you can learn the spiritual, emotional, and the spiritual and emotional aspects to detach and protect yourself so that you can remain loyal to your responsibilities, but you are not pulled down by the weight of other people's nagging, negativity, doubt, insults, lack of faith, and all of that starts to wipe our dreams off of the whiteboard, right? You know, you have this big, beautiful vision. You have these goals. You want this thing. You know you can do it. You know you were made for it. But then you can't do that. That's ridiculous. That's too big. You failed at that 10 times. Why are you trying again? You've got those people. And you've got to learn to detach from those people. And you need your team. You need your accountability team. And you need your protection to help you do that. Because as long as you allow those people to bring chaos and doubt and negativity into your life, then you make your natural propensity to move up the emotional ladder so much harder. You take one step forward and they pull you 3 steps back, and then you take another step and then 3 more steps back, and pretty soon, instead of being up here, you're way lower than you ever started. You know it's true. You know there are people around you. So whether you need to have that talk with them and you just need to give it to them straight about, this is who I am, this is my focus, this is where I'm going. If I have to fail at it for the next 80 years until I die and maybe never get there, so be it. I know my purpose. I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. I believe in it. And even if the journey is my work and the destination is not really the goal, it's just the ball that I'm keeping my eye on, maybe the journey is your path. Maybe the journey is what shows others the way, right? So I'm in human design, I'm a martyr heretic. You know what that means? I have to go out and make a fool of myself 1,000,000 times. I have to fail 999,999 times. I have to be the fool to show people that when I'm right, when I meet my goal, when I get there, how to do it, that this works. So I have to experiment. I have to throw myself on the fire to make the way easier for others. That's my life path. And you know, when I read that, I was like, that feels so true for me. That feels so true, because that's naturally what I do. I'm like, I'll try it. Sure, let's do it. And here I am on this live. I'm sure some of my friends are looking like, what a weirdo. Who is this person? And I'm okay with that now, but I wasn't always. Because the detachment is a process, right? So your self-worth, your self-love, your capacity to identify who you are, what you want, create that protection around it, deflect and transmute the naysayers that would try to bring you down or slow you down. Do you think Tesla listened to the people who told him he was crazy? Do you think Einstein did? What about Darwin? Think of all the people on our planet who have done wild things. Think about now. Who would have thought that selling some books on the computer would have made Jeff Bezos one of the richest men in the world? How ridiculous. How many people told him that was a stupid idea? Who would have thought that everyone on the planet would be holding a computer in their hand? Look at Bill Gates, right? Like, who would have thought that dude would be a top influencer in the world? An idol to some people. Who would have thought that? People don't know you. They don't know your heart, your path, what you've been through, where you've been, what you've seen, what you've experienced. They don't know all of the accomplishments that you've seen at your work that never got rewarded publicly. They've never seen all of the spiritual understanding that you've come to along the way. They don't know. Only you know. Only you know. And you know who you are. And so, to wrap back up, to bring it back to the beginning, figuring out who you are, knowing who you are and what you want, and claiming that without being timid about it, that's the first rung on the ladder. You've got to have that. I'm all the time posting in my groups and on my page, like, what do you want? What's your goal? What's your dream? What's your vision? And I put my big, hairy, audacious goals and dreams and visions and fantasies out there because I don't care what anyone else thinks. And you know what? I might change my mind tomorrow. I might decide that I never want to go to the Mediterranean again. Never again. But today I do. And I'm going to claim it, And I don't care if somebody doubts me. We have to get there. We have to be our biggest fan. We have to be the number one person cheering ourselves on. We can't expect people to always rally around us and be our biggest cheerleader. We have to be that for ourselves. We have to know what we want. And maybe you're living a life where you have everything you want and you truly are just basking in the beauty of the journey and where you are right now. And if you are, then I encourage you to be that person who stands up and lets other people know that it's possible. Because many, many people, you wouldn't believe the people, the doctors, the lawyers, the notorious professionals that we see on TV, celebrities, that are just being puppets. They're just being strung along by the puppeteer. They're not living the life that they want. They're fitting into the box that was given to them, and they're not happy. And they cannot tell you right now, if you ask them, the truth about what they want. So if you know what you want and you're focused on that, then you have taken the biggest step toward moving toward it. But you probably know already, if you have that it's going to take that protection, accountability, action, and detachment to get you there. And if you don't know what you want, why are you afraid to claim it? Why? Are too many people going to tell you it's stupid? Are too many people going to tell you it's too big, it's wrong, you're silly? Are you going to lose friends? Lord knows I've been there. Are you going to be crazy in the eyes of some of the people who have so perfectly fit into their little boxes for all these years or decades? Are you going to be crazy? Who cares? You have this one life, and you have a gift, a talent, and a dream, and a vision for your life. And if you aren't living into that, if you aren't claiming it, or at least putting it on your vision board and moving toward it in tiny increments, maybe you've set it away for later. You're like, maybe I'll do that when I retire. Or maybe after I do this thing at my job that I hate, then I'll do that. Maybe it's far away, but as long as you have it, you're so much closer than most people who cannot even honestly claim it and who have never told anyone about it. So I want to promise you something. If you have a dream in your heart, if you have a vision for your life, if you have something that you want, or you want to do, or where you want to go, or what you want to experience, no matter what it is, no matter how crazy it is, well, nothing dark or sinister. I don't go down that pathway, but as long as it's positive and beautiful, no matter what it is, you can tell me in Messenger, and I'll be that person for you. You can say it to me, and that'll give you your first little snip at the chains that hold you back from believing in yourself and getting your focus on what you want. So you can message me and you can tell me, and I won't try to sell you anything or coach you or whatever. I just will hear it for you, because it's a beautiful thing to be able to say, this is who I am. This is what I want. I know this is my path because it's been there in me all along since I was a little girl or a little boy. It's always been there, and I've never talked about it because I think it's crazy, or it's too big, or it's embarrassing, or it's not the career path that I went down, or whatever. Or my life is so different than that now, I can't possibly believe that they could come together and I could have that. I can't believe that, right? So you can tell me, and I will hold that in my heart for you, and I will share that energy with you. I will give you that, and we will multiply that energy around that, Because if you know me, you know my big vision is to grow global consciousness. And how do we grow global consciousness? Number one, by loving one another, by connecting with one another, by getting to know one another. And number two, by sharing one another's hearts and love and dreams. By giving and reciprocating that love and that energy. That's how we connect. That's how we grow global consciousness. This patriarchal myth of competition, defeat, war, opposition, all of that, the enemy, that's all just a distraction, and that's all just keeping you away from what you want. There's no competition. You have everything you need inside of you to have what you want. Even if what you want is here and you're over here and you feel like there's no way they can ever come together, I promise you they can. And I promise you, if you work on it, they can come together faster than you would have ever dreamed. My life is a testament to that truth. That is my reality. So if it can happen for me, one person, then it could happen for anyone, right? It could happen for anyone. So don't be afraid to claim it, at least for yourself today, maybe with me. I highly suggest you go get yourself a little notebook. My friend Laura got me a new notebook for my birthday, and I'm already writing my visions and dreams in there. Get yourself a little notebook, hide it away in your underwear drawer or in your safe, and start writing it out. Start writing your dreams. Ask for what you want. Who are you? Where are you going? What do you want to be? Ask for it. And then, once you claim it, you can make the choice to focus on it. And then you can make the choice to intentionally move toward it, to steer out of the chaos, to steer out of the naysayers, to detach yourself from the chains that pull you down, whether those be people, ideas, thoughts, beliefs. And there are people out there. If it's not me, if you don't vibe with me, if I'm too weird for you, I'm too woo-woo, I'm too out there for you, whatever, it doesn't have to be me, but find someone, find an accountability partner, a mentor, a coach, someone, and invest in yourself. People spend tens of thousands of dollars, now hundreds of thousands of dollars, going to university to get jobs and work in careers that other people wanted for them. And then they spend their whole life in an unhappy career, paying off debt for something that they never wanted for themselves. But would you invest just a tiny bit of time, energy, heart, money into yourself, into who you know you are, your God-given purpose, your gifts, talents? Believe me, there is a world out there that wants to cheer you on, but you have to tune into it, and you have to connect with it, and you have to intentionally move toward it. Stop with the fear. Stop with the worry about being embarrassed or humiliated or shamed or failing. Stop. Stop with the fear of rejection. You're the only person that can approve you. You're the only person that can get you there. It's your focus. This morning we were sitting out on the front porch having breakfast. Jonathan made this beautiful omelet, and I can't really eat early in the morning. My tummy just doesn't do that, but I was having a couple of bites. It was delicious. And we were talking about my current dream, the one I'm receiving today. I'm receiving something today, and it's leading towards something coming up in October. And I hadn't told him about it. And he's like, I want to hold this energy for you. And I was grateful for that. And I thanked him for that, and we talked about it, and I allowed him in. But I told him I'm very careful who I share with, because I protect that energy. I protect it like a little baby, like a little egg. So I have this dream and this desire, and I've protected it, and I've nurtured it, and I've loved it, and I've grown it, and I've moved through until it's here. And I didn't tell anyone about it, because I'm very careful with it. Now, there's other things that obviously I tell lots of people about. There's lots of projects that I'm working on that are very public that many people know about. And even then, I'm very intentional about who I share all of that with, the behind the scenes. Because any energy that's moving into that, I want it to be the right kind of energy. I want it to be the positive energy. Not the cutting down, not the doubt, not the fear mongers, not the you can't do that, you're not good enough, why do you think you can do that? That's too big, that's too crazy, nobody's done that, you're going to fail, you're going to be embarrassed, how shameful that'll be if you do that and everyone sees what a failure you are, how shameful for our family, what an embarrassment, no. I don't have time for that in my life. So I'm very intentional with that, with my media, with my friends on social media, with where I spend my time in my day, how I move through my day, what I do in my day, and who I let in. If you're looking for a coach, I just opened up some more coaching spots for one-on-one coaching. I would love to work with you on that. If you just need to say your dream to somebody, you can send me a voice message to say, I just need to say this to somebody who I trust to give it loving energy. No matter how big and audacious and crazy it is, I just want to say it to somebody. Or you can text it to me here on social media, and I will hold that energy for you. I promise I won't share it with anybody at all in the world. Nobody. And I won't coach you. I won't train you. I won't give you advice. I will just hold that vision for you, okay? Because I crave that sometimes, and I'm lucky enough to have a community now. Took me 45 years, but I'm lucky enough to have a community now that I can share those dreams with, and that truly love, honor, and respect my dreams, and hold that vision with me, intentionally, on purpose, with discipline, with willpower, bringing in the feminine energy, bringing in the masculine energy, find that symbiosis, that yin and yang, making it all work together to bring our dreams to fruition. So if you're looking for community, I would love to help you out with that. Ask me any questions you have. Let me guide you with what I've learned, oftentimes the hard way because I am the martyr heretic. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned. And if you want to dig in and get intense about it, if you want to go deep, if you want to do the work, if you want daily accountability, if you want a dig deep session to go into your design and your genetic keys and your life path and your ancestry, if you want to do that, I am accepting some coaching clients now, so I would love to work with you. That feels good. I've been stewing on that for a couple of days, and I hope it's really helpful for some of you. I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday. We're going to head out to the river and put our feet in the water and just ground and get our bodies back in the flow of the planet, and just relax and let go of the stress of the week and prepare for a very intentional, beautiful, wonderful week ahead, and for me to receive the manifestation that I set upon earlier in the week. So excited about that. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I love you. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for watching, listening, whether it's the replay or live. And thank you for daring to dream, because that's how we make our world the best place possible. I love you. Goodbye.